Picture this. President Trump is juggling three massive economic goals: revitalizing American manufacturing, slashing immigration, and keeping prices affordable for everyday folks. But here's the kicker. It might be impossible to achieve all three without something giving way. Intrigued? Let's dive into this economic trilemma that's got experts and everyday Americans buzzing. Just like hunting for the perfect apartment where you dream of something spacious, cheap, and conveniently located, but reality forces you to pick just two. Think a cozy downtown shoebox or a sprawling suburban spot with a hefty commute. Economic decisions often involve tough trade-offs. President Donald Trump, backed by many voters, is aiming to ramp up U.S. manufacturing, curb immigration flows, and hold down prices. On the surface, these sound like winning priorities, boosting jobs, securing borders, and protecting wallets. But economists and trade specialists warn that pulling off all three simultaneously is like trying to square a circle. You can chase pairs of these goals, but the third, it often slips away. Take manufacturing, for instance. Trump wants to lure factories back to American soil, using tariffs to make imported goods pricier and encourage domestic production. That's great for creating jobs in high-tech sectors like electric vehicles or semiconductors. But here's where it gets controversial. To staff these factories, companies often rely on skilled workers from abroad, trained in specific technologies that aren't readily available here. Cutting off immigration makes this a real challenge. Imagine a company like TSMC, the Taiwanese giant building a massive chip plant in Arizona. They've brought in experts from Taiwan to get operations running smoothly. If the U.S. clamps down too hard on visas, these firms might bail or find loopholes, undermining the whole manufacturing revival. And this is the part most people miss. Immigration isn't just about low-skilled labor. It's crucial for high-tech fields, too. Trump's recent executive order slapped a $100,000 fee on new H-1B visas meant for skilled foreign workers. While the White House says it's to curb abuses and boost American wages, critics argue it could drive innovation overseas, to places like China or India, where companies shift research and development. Even legal, skilled immigrants are vital. Without them, filling roles in new factories becomes an uphill battle. Plus, many manufacturing jobs today, from construction to assembly lines, are held by immigrants. With an aging U.S. population and fewer young Americans eager to take on factory work, some 400,000 jobs sit unfilled per the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Restricting this workforce could stall growth rather than spark it. But wait, there's more to this puzzle. Trump's immigration crackdown extends to high-profile actions, like the September raid on Hyundai's $7.6 billion Georgia plant, where 475 South Korean workers were detained. The company delayed its startup, and broader fears of unpredictable enforcement have foreign investors wary. Experts like D.D. Caldwell from Global Location Strategies point out that while companies must follow immigration laws, flashy raids create a gray area that discourages investment. Scott Lincecum of the Cato Institute notes Trump's mixed signals. He's not entirely against skilled immigrants, but loves the public spectacle of force. This tension pits his economic war, building factories, against his culture war, strict borders, and everyday Americans' desire for stable prices. Now let's talk tariffs, Trump's go-to tool for protecting U.S. makers. By taxing imports, he aims to make foreign goods costlier, nudging consumers toward American products. But here's the rub. Tariffs often backfire, hiking prices for everyone. For beginners, think of it like this. When you tax imported washing machines, as happened in 2018, even U.S.-made ones get pricier because suppliers raise costs across the board. Dryers, not even targeted, saw price jumps too. Economists like Gordon Hanson from Harvard's Kennedy School call it out. Taxing imports hurts consumers, and restricting labor drives up domestic prices. Mary Lovely from the Peterson Institute adds that tariffs reduce product variety and force a costly shift in the economy, pulling workers from booming sectors like healthcare, caring for aging baby boomers, into less appealing manufacturing roles. Already, we're seeing ripples: coffee, beef, apparel. And energy costs are climbing, with automakers absorbing some hits, but likely passing them on soon. The goal of a price wall to protect jobs sounds appealing, but it's expensive, taxing consumers to fund reshoring. And if companies can't staff factories due to immigration limits, a whole plan crumbles. To be fair, it's not just Trump's dilemma. It's America's too. Polls show voters support reviving manufacturing, even if they don't want the jobs, and worry about inflation. Yet many back Trump for his immigration stance. The White House pushes back, citing post-World War II U.S. growth with low immigration and how countries like China use tariffs to build industries. But experts like Lincecum dismiss this as apples to oranges. The U.S. then had a booming native workforce and a recovering world, unlike today's shrinking labor pool. Lovely notes those nations were at lower development stages and didn't rely heavily on tariffs as we do now. Beyond policies, Trump's unpredictability erodes trust. Attacks on Federal Reserve independence, government stakes in companies like Intel and U.S. Steel, and halting wind projects make the U.S. seem risky for investors. Julia Gellert from the Migration Policy Institute warns global businesses might steer clear. In a perfect world, we'd see booming jobs, low prices, and growth benefiting Americans first. But reality? These policies risk higher costs, jittery markets, and missed opportunities. What do you think? Can Trump thread this needle, or is one goal doomed to fail? Is prioritizing manufacturing worth the price hikes? And how do you feel about the immigration-trade balance? Share your hot takes in the comments below. Let's debate. Emily Stewart is a senior correspondent at Business Insider, focusing on business and the economy. Business Insider's Discourse series offers insightful takes on today's key issues, backed by deep analysis, reporting, and expert voices. Economy, Donald Trump, tariffs, immigration, inflation discourse.